Hey, if you're making content and you're over the age of 40 and you're worried about these YouTube changes that are coming up in the next 6 months, this video is for you because I'm going to show you a way to avoid having to deal with that higher bar in order to get monetized. Now, if you don't understand what those changes are, you can go right here and you can check out this video that I made that detail the changes. But what we're going to talk about today is how you can own your content in a better way, because you're going to turn content into predictable income by creating a community. Now, this video is also for people that aren't in my community yet to learn how to build their own, or they're in my community and they just don't know that this stuff is available. So what we're going to do is go to the classroom and show you that by starting here, we're going to help you realize the gap between where you are and where you want to be. For most people, this includes a roadmap calendar where you plug in what you actually want to make versus what you're actually making. You see the gap you need to close, and then you see, based on how much you want to start your paid community for, how many people you need to close that gap. Now, why this is so important is because it allows you to actually get a firm figure. You're not guessing. You're not just saying, I'd like to make more, or I'd like to have more subscribers, or I'd like to have more followers. No, you are actually setting an income goal that is easy to backtrack and figure out. See, a business like this, especially with monthly income, is all about straight math. How many people do I need paying how much every single month to me? Not that I'm getting paid by the platform. And then you can get a firm grip on how you make that figure happen. And then you can even put in, if you have zero, you put in zero, but then you put in your target date. When do you want this to happen by? And then it will tell you, okay, it's this many months. And then it will tell you how many people per month you need to add in order to reach that goal. Again, if you don't have a firm figure on what those things are, you can't reach those goals. It's like me saying, just jump on the highway and go from Pennsylvania to California. Or somebody actually hands you a map with all the turn-by-turn directions. You're going to have much more success following that map than you are just jumping on the highway and trying to go west to California. Same thing whenever you're trying to create income from a paid membership. The second thing you're going to do, just tell us a little bit about yourself, because these three questions are the things that will help you figure out what your community might want to be about. What could you talk about for an hour? What person needs that particular information, and where aren't they getting it, or what aren't they getting from other people providing that type of content? Then once you get through that first classroom, and that takes no time at all, then you can go into my favorite, which is where we get specific. See, we have two tools in here, and those tools will help you figure out who you want to create your community for, what deliverable are you going to give them? In other words, what win are they going to see? And it has to be tangible. And then we're going to help you build the images that are going to attract those people, either through Canva templates or a group builder GPT that I have created that helped me come up with this right here. Then what's really important is to make sure that your offer meets all the criteria for something that's going to be effective on school. And that is, does it have the 6 yeses? And so you put in what your promise is, and where your promise comes from is your about page. It comes from this right here. So you put that in, and then this scorecard will help you score it. This thing will also give you some options that you can check off that increase the likelihood that people are going to say yes to your offer. Do you have a free trial with cancel anytime? Well, in school, that's a no-brainer, because all you have to do is toggle one switch right here, and then you can have that option, and that is pricing. So you toggle free trial on, and people get 7 days to try out your community. And why that is a very effective way to run a community is because you take the risk away from them, so they're more likely to want to take a chance, because you got to be on the inside. You can't decide whether or not something's for you unless you actually get in there and tinker around, just like you wouldn't buy a car if you didn't test drive it. So once you get done with the classroom and you get done with the 6 yeses scorecard, then you go to the page builder, where we're actually going to help you build out the things that are on your school community. For example, helping you figure out what images to put on your about page, helping you figure out the exact terminology or copy to put on your about page. All of this stuff is inside your first 7 days inside the cash flow path. And then the third thing is actually building and launching your community. Now, if you start your community with my link, it'll say Chuck Ellis invited you. And when you create your community, you get 14 days to try out your own community, and you can do it for only $9 a month. So you have 14 days to invite all the people you want, create all the content that you want, unlimited videos, unlimited live calls, and pretty low transaction fees. The only thing you don't get is a custom URL, and you can't create your own individual affiliate program. But if you use my link to start your community, what I'm going to do for you is I am going to get on a one-on-one call with you, where we're going to figure all this stuff out together so you don't just have to read it in a classroom, but you and I will actually strategize together to figure that thing out in a 45-minute call. And I do that just because that's my way of saying thank you for using my link, because yes, I will get school affiliate commissions for you starting your community. But my job is to make sure your community is as successful as it can be, so it stays open as long as possible, so school keeps paying me affiliate income. It's really not that hard to figure out why I offer this type of service to people who use my link, because I want to make sure you're successful. So the first thing we're going to help you do in step 3 is actually start your community. Then we're going to help you build your community. And one of the things that people need to realize is this is always going to be a work in progress. It's never going to be finished, and it doesn't have to be perfect. This is also not one of those things where, like Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. What you do is you invite them, you ask them what you want, and they help you build it. So you are more of a waiter than a creator, because you're not going to create a bunch of stuff that they don't want. You're going to wait till people get inside and they're going to tell you what they want. And then you're going to invite those people. So you just get the bare bones in there, and then you start inviting people, and we have some ways to help you do that as well. So that is what is inside the first 7 days of the cash flow path for those of you who were asking. And all you need to do is take a test drive. Click on the link in my bio, jump in for 7 days, see if it's worth your time. I promise you it will be, because by the end of 7 days, you'll have something that looks very similar to what I have built, which is you'll have an about page, you'll have a description, you'll have images in here, and you will know exactly who your group is for and what you're offering people. And then you can start inviting them. And I personally believe that after all this time, one of the big mistakes that I made was that I started for free. And now, if I were starting over again, I would just start out paid right off the bat with a 7-day free trial, so they can get in there and they can do whatever they got to do to decide whether or not it's something for them. And look, here's the honest truth about free trials. If you can get anything over 50% of the people staying after free trial, you're doing well. So the only purpose then is to get people to take the free trial and then stay, because they get a win in the first 7 days. Also, your job is to send more and more people to that about page every single month. And the way that you do that is you create content on YouTube, and then you have a link in your bio, and you send them to your school community, just like I do. So if this was helpful to you and this is something you want to explore, we'd welcome you inside the cash flow path. Even if you decide it's not for you at the end of 7 days, leave. Your card won't be charged. Now, if you do decide to stay, it's only going to be $7 a month. Now, yes, there are other tiers where I offer more one-on-one support, but you can literally accomplish everything that I just showed you for $7 a month. That's less than a freaking Happy Meal. So you can't lose with that kind of value. Plus, you get access to me on live calls as well. If you want to check out what those changes are on YouTube that are going to seriously affect your ability to make income, I suggest you check out that window right there, check out that video, and then realize that a paid community is a much better way to go. Thanks for watching. Be sure you hit that bell so you get the next live and or recorded video that I make, and we'll see you next time.